Hi, as I said earlier, we're going to be cooking today. I'm here with Chef Rachel. How are you today?
I'm great.
Great. And what are we going to be doing today?
Well, I'm going to teach you a technique for making vegetables more tender, tasty, and digestible. What I have here is boiling water, and I'm adding an unrefined mineral-rich sea salt. And if you remember in 9th grade biology when you learned about osmosis, minerals go from an area of high concentration to low concentration.
No, I don't remember, but thank you.
Okay, well anyway, what we did is we put an unrefined mineral-rich sea salt in there to create some osmotic pressure. So when we add our vegetables, it'll keep more of the nutrients in the vegetables.
Good.
And what we're doing is we're going to cook each kind of vegetable separately, but in the same water. And the cooking time for this technique, it's called blanching or parboiling, is 1 to 3 minutes. And the time depends on the size of the pieces and what kind of vegetable they are. And we have a bowl of ice water here. And what we're going to do is we're going to cook them until they're crisp tender. Then we're going to plunge them in ice water to stop the cooking and hold the color. It's called shocking. And then they'll go into colander.
So blanching as opposed to steaming or boiling.
Exactly.
That's what we're used to doing.
When you steam vegetables, the lid is on the pot, the temperature gets higher, and there's more risk of overcooking the vegetables, and then the broccoli turns from green to kind of a grayish color. With this technique, the lid stays off the whole time. It's a shorter time in the water, and then what we end up with is vegetables like this. So they're crisp, tender, they're colorful. Look at this difference, this contrast. The light, this is the raw broccoli, and this is the cooked broccoli.
Big difference.
So all the colors are vibrant, and what you end up with is vegetables that are more tender, more tasty, and more digestible. They're even more nutritious, which surprises many people.
How's that?
Well, actually what happens is when you cook the vegetables this way, and you cook them until they're crisp tender, you actually break open the cell wall here, the cellulose structure of the vegetables, so that you can assimilate more of the nutrients. When they're raw, a lot of the nutrients go through you unabsorbed because we just don't have the digestive tract of a herbivorous animal, like a grazing animal. So this technique will actually allow you to get more nutrition. There's research showing you get more iron from cooked green vegetables than raw. You get more vitamin C and more carotenes that are absorbable from the cooked carrots than the raw. And people who don't normally like vegetables, like kids or picky eaters, will usually take first and second helpings because these vegetables are just more flavorful and they don't have that bitterness that they do in the raw state.
Well, we've been taught for so long to, steam them, and then we went back to saying raw vegetables. But again, you're telling us it's actually better to, what's it called, blanching? Okay, so just lightly cooking.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it just makes such a difference. And what I recommend is when you make these, make enough to serve 2 to 3 days in a row. The leftovers are great for packed lunches, snacks, anything. And when you've got those leftovers, that's your healthy convenience food. So then tomorrow and the next day, you're guaranteed to have vegetables at 1 or 2 meals.
And how do we keep those?
What I like to do is store them in wide-mouth canning jars or Pyrex or Corningware glass containers with lids. That's safer than plastic, and you can look into the fridge, find what you're looking for, pull them out, and you're going to avoid the chemicals in the plastic that would otherwise leach into the food.
Again, taught to put everything in Ziplocs or whatever, and now we're getting away from that.
Yeah, so it's just another way to store them, and then you just take them out, and they're in nice containers you can put on the table, and they don't look funny like plastic bags.
So you're saying kids will like it. How are kids going to like this?
Well, I have made these recipes with 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. I have served them to kids and even adults who didn't like vegetables for more than 20 years. And across the board, most people, even kids, will take first and second helpings. But the other key, besides how you cook the vegetables, is having great dips or salad dressings to entice people to eat more vegetables.
Show me that then.
All right.
Good to know.
We're going to make a spicy peanut sauce and a cashew dill dip. So what I'm going to do is I am going to have you add the salt.
Okay.
And we're going to add hot water.
All of it.
Yep, just pour it in.
I get to do something. This is
so
fun.
We've got peanut butter, hot water, and salt, and you're going to stir to dissolve that. And what we're doing here...
This is 3 servings?
No, we're actually making a single batch here. I normally make a triple batch of this because you can freeze some of the leftovers and then pull them out for other meals. But we're going to make a single batch today. So you'll just whisk that until it's smooth. What we're going to add next is we're going to add some garlic.
Okay.
And we put garlic through a garlic press. Use the fresh rather than bottled. It's more flavorful. And we're going to add some vinegar. You can use rice vinegar or lime juice here, even orange juice. Ground chipotle, which is smoke-dried jalapeno. And You can either make this thick like a dip, or you can make it a little thinner like a salad dressing. So if you want a thinner dressing, you can add a little bit of cold water. Otherwise, you can just stop adding water at this point. Now we're going to add chopped green onions. You can use green onions or cilantro. And this dip thickens up in the refrigerator. So you can either put it in the fridge for several hours or overnight, or put the bowl in the freezer for maybe an hour so it thickens up. And this is what it looks like when it's thick and it's ready to go. Now, we're going to make a similar dip with cashew butter. And
You're
for
going to make
this
me
one,
work again, aren't you?
I sure am.
Okay.
All right, so you add the salt. I'll add the hot water.
Okay.
So this is using cashew butter, which is made from roasted cashews. Look for unsalted cashew butter with no sugar, no trans fats.
Read the labels.
Read the labels on everything. And as you're mixing that, I'm going to add freeze-dried onion flakes. I'm going to add dried chives. I'm going to add dried dill. I'm going to add some lemon pepper and a little bit of mustard. So super easy to make. We're also going to add our vinegar here. This could be raw apple cider vinegar, or you could use lemon juice.
It smells good.
And what we're going to have here is a nice creamy alternative to like a ranch dip or dressing. And it's this easy. It's just mixing up the ingredients. And if you want to make a triple batch, do it in a bigger bowl, or use a blender, a Vitamix, or a food processor. And this is what the cashew dill dip looks like when it's thick, ready to go.
Wow, that smells wonderful.
Yeah. And you can also serve this as a topping for just a green salad. So not just
you
for
mentioned
dips.
that. Again, how would you do that? You mentioned it, but I was mixing.
Once it's in the refrigerator, if it's this thick and you want it more like a ranch dressing texture, you can just add a little bit of cold water, a tablespoon at a time, stir it, and then this would be great over a crisp green salad with colorful veggies. You could throw in some chicken, fish, or meat if you wanted for some protein. So why don't you come over here and we'll taste them with the veggies, and
I'll follow you.
show you what you can do.
Okay.
All right.
Wow, look at those colors.
They are
That is
really,
beautiful.
really bright. And
Absolutely
remember,
beautiful.
this is going to be so much more appealing than this if you just look at those colors. Just amazing. Now, you want to make sure, though, that you use it up within 2 to 3 days. Every day the vegetables sit in the fridge, they will lose some nutrition. So you don't want to be cooking it on Sunday and eating it on Friday.
Good point, good point.
Just plan to cook what you think you can eat in 2 or 3
you've
days.
tested this before, is what you said?
More than 20 years, and
Okay,
it's just
so I can
amazing.
try it then.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm not a guinea pig today. Good. Let's see. Cashew. That's this one?
That one's the cashew.
All right, let's try that.
If you like cashews, you'll love this dip. And herbs.
I think kids will like that. That's very good. Now, if they want more information about you and your cookbook, what's your cookbook?
Garden of Eating.
The Garden of Eating.
They can go to my blog, thehealthycookingcoach.com, and I also have a dessert book called the Ice Dream Cookbook. So again, thegardenofeatingdiet.com or thehealthycookingcoach.com to find out more about the cookbooks, recipes, classes, and more.
And so you teach classes. We can go to your place. You can teach us how to cook this easy, simple foods, and tasty, of course.
Absolutely. Cooking classes, cooking parties, dinner
Wow.
parties, kitchen coaching, all kinds of things to inspire healthy choices and put people on a healthy path for a healthy lifestyle.
She said it before I did. That's great. So again, your website is?
Thehealthycookingcoach.com.
Thehealthycookingcoach.com. This was tasty. I loved it. What can I say? Very good.